What conditions? I asked. The voice on the phone grew heavier. If anything suspicious happens after his death, legal interference, forced eviction attempts, or manipulation of the will, the entire trust is automatically reviewed by a secondary executor. My throat went dry. A secondary executor. Yes. I looked at the sealed envelope again. Who is it? There was a long pause. Then Daniel said, I am. The room felt like it tilted. You? I repeated, yes. Your grandfather appointed me quietly 3 years ago. Only he, the court, and I knew. My hands began shaking. Why would he do that? Daniel didn't answer immediately. Instead, he asked something unexpected. Ethan, has your family been pressuring you lately? I almost laughed bitterly. Pressuring. They tried to throw me out with eviction papers. A sharp inhale on the other end. Then it's already started. My chest tightened. What has started? The trigger clause. Thunder cracked outside so loudly it shook the walls. I stood up immediately. Stop speaking in riddles. Tell me what's happening. Daniel's voice turned serious. Your uncle is trying to activate a loophole in the original estate filing. If he succeeds, he doesn't just take the house. He gains access to everything tied to it. Everything. I repeated, yes, and Ethan. That includes the lake records. Something about the way he said it made my skin crawl. What are lake records? Silence. Then Daniel said quietly, your grandfather wasn't the only one who knew about that property. Before I could respond, I heard a sound outside, a car engine, slow, deliberate. I moved toward the window, a black SUV. Same one, again. My pulse skyrocketed. They're here, I whispered. Who is? Daniel asked. My uncle's people. Daniel's voice sharpened instantly. Do not open the door. Do you understand me? I'm not stupid, I snapped quietly, but fear was creeping in now. I watched shadows move near the driveway, flashlights, 3. Figures, then, a knock, loud, firm, I. Stepped back, the knocking came again. This time, louder, Ethan. A voice called, Richard, of course. I know you're in there. My jaw clenched. Daniel was still on the phone. Ethan, listen to me. Whatever happens next, do not let them inside the study. I looked at the floorboard box. My uncle is outside my house. What do I do? Daniel responded immediately. By time. Another knock. This time more aggressive. I'm calling the sheriff. I shouted through the door. Richard laughed from the other side. Go ahead. We already spoke to them. That hit me hard. What? Daniel's voice tightened. Ethan? They're moving faster than expected. My mind raced. Then suddenly a loud crash. A side window shattered. I jumped back as glass scattered across the floor. They're breaking in. I shouted. Stay calm, Daniel said quickly. Grab the envelope now. I grabbed it instantly. Footsteps outside, closer, inside the house. I backed into the hallway. Phone still pressed to my ear. Daniel, I don't understand any of this. You will. But only if you open that envelope. Another crash, door shaking now. Richard's voice echoed through the house. This ends tonight, Ethan. My hands shook violently. Daniel's voice cut through everything. Open. I looked down at Grandpa's handwriting. My entire body felt numb. Then I ripped it. Open. Inside was a single letter and a key. But not just any key. It was engraved. Silver. Old. And underneath it, a second document stamped with something I didn't expect. A legal seal I had never seen before. Silver Pine Restricted Trust Level 3 access. Our breath stopped. Daniel. I whispered, what is this? But Daniel didn't answer right away, because on his end of the call, I heard something strange. A second voice, mail, close to him, and it said only one thing. Tell the boy the truth is no longer optional. Then the line went dead. I pulled the phone away from my ear. No. The house shook again as someone forced the front door. Richard's voice got closer. "I warned you, Ethan." I clutched the key in my hand. The engraved metal felt colder than ice. Then I noticed something else inside the envelope, a small map, hand, drawn, leading. Somewhere beneath the lake house itself, a place I never knew existed. A hidden structure marked in red ink. Dock access, lower vault. My heart pounded violently because Grandpa hadn't just left me a house. He had left me a secret, and whatever was inside that vault, it was the real reason my family was desperate to get rid of me. The door handle finally started to turn, slowly forcing open, and I realized I had only seconds to decide whether to run or face what Grandpa had been hiding under the lake all along. The moment I stepped into the hidden vault under the lake house, I realized the truth wasn't just buried, it was protected. And the second I heard footsteps above me, I understood my family wasn't trying to evict me. They were trying to erase what Grandpa left behind. The moment the front door upstairs burst open, I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the silver key, the map, and ran. Not out of the house, but down, toward the dock. Thunder shook the entire lake as I sprinted through the back hallway, past Grandpa's old photographs, past the memories I once thought were harmless. Behind me, I heard shouting. Richard's voice echoed through the house. "He's running." Heavy footsteps followed, multiple people. They weren't here to argue anymore. They were here to take everything. I reached the dock entrance and dropped to my knees, searching for the hidden latch marked on the map. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely see straight. Come on. Then I found it, a rusted metal ring hidden beneath loose wooden planks. I pulled. A section of the dock shifted with a deep creak. A hidden staircase appeared, descending into darkness. Cold air rushed up from below like the lake itself was breathing. I hesitated for half a pay. Second, then I heard footsteps behind me on the dock. I didn't think. I went down. The door above slammed shut. Darkness swallowed everything. I pulled out my phone. Flashlight. The beam revealed stone walls, old support beams, and water dripping from somewhere deep below. This wasn't just storage. This was built decades ago, maybe longer. I followed the narrow tunnel until it opened into a large underground chamber, and that's when I saw it. A steel door. Massive. Locked. Engraved with the same symbol from the trust document. Silver. Pine Restricted Trust. My breathing turned shallow. "This is real," I whispered. My phone buzzed suddenly. A message from unknown number. "Open it. You are the only one authorized now." I froze. "How?" I whispered out loud. Then I remembered the key. I inserted it into the lock. It turned. Slowly, once, twice, then click. The door unlocked the moment I pushed it open. Cold air rushed out like the room had been sealed for years. Inside was not what I expected. No money, no treasure. Instead, files. Hundreds of them, neatly organized, a full underground archive. And in the center of the room, a single wooden desk. With a folder placed on top, labeled, "If Ethan is here, they have already come for him." My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a full confession letter from Grandpa. But the more I read, the more my stomach dropped. Because this wasn't just about a house. It was about land ownership records, illegal transfers, hidden signatures, and one name that kept appearing again and again. Richard Carter. My uncle. My chest tightened. No. This couldn't be real. I kept reading. Grandpa had discovered years ago that Richard was secretly trying to manipulate property records across multiple family assets. The lake house wasn't just sentimental, it was the final property he hadn't been able to touch. And the lake records Daniel mentioned, they were proof of everything. Fraud. Forgery. Even financial crimes buried under fake estate filings. My knees weakened. Grandpa hadn't just left me a home. He had left me evidence, and I suddenly understood everything. The eviction, the threats, the harassment, they weren't about inheritance, they were about silence. A loud bang echoed above me, the dock. They had found the entrance, Richard's voice roared from above. Ethan, I know you're down there. I quickly stuffed the documents into my bag. My heart was pounding violently. I looked around the vault one last time and saw something I hadn't noticed before. A recording device. Still blinking, still active. A voice speaker crackled. And then Grandpa's voice. Calm. Familiar. Alive in a way that made my chest ache. If you're hearing this, Ethan, then I was right. Tears instantly filled my eyes. I knew they would come for it, and I knew only you would care enough to find the truth. I pressed my hand against the desk. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but I had to protect you from what your uncle would do. Another loud crash above. Wood splintering. They will try to scare you. They will try to take it back. But you are the only one who can bring this into the light. The recording paused for a moment, then the final words came. And Ethan, I'm proud of you. The message ended. Silence filled the vault. For a moment, I just stood there, not afraid, not confused, but clear. Everything finally made sense. I wiped my face, lifted the bag, and turned toward the stairs. Because now I wasn't just a nephew fighting for a house. I was the only person standing between my family and the truth Grandpa died protecting. I climbed back. Up the door above was shaking violently. Now Richard and the others were forcing it open. I reached the top step, placed my hand on the latch, and pulled it open. Light exploded into the tunnel. Richard stood there. Frozen. When he saw me and the bag in my hand, his expression changed instantly. Not anger, not confusion. Fear. Because he knew. I stepped forward. Slowly and said the only thing that mattered now. I know everything. Silence. The entire family behind him went still. The documents slipped slightly in my grip, and for the first time, Richard didn't speak, because the truth wasn't hidden anymore. It was in my hands. The legal case that followed destroyed everything Richard built over the years. Investigations opened across multiple properties. The lake house remained mine, not because of inheritance, but because of proof. My family never looked at me the same again. Some disappeared completely. Some apologized. It's too late. But I stayed at the lake house where Grandpa always said I belonged. Every evening. I still sit on the dock. And now I understand his final lesson. Family isn't about who shares your blood. It's about who stands for the truth when everyone else runs from it.